You feel it, do you not? That quiet exhaustion that arrives at night. It is 1 in the morning. The room is silent, your phone lights your face. And somewhere inside you, there is a heavy thought you cannot ignore anymore. People do not take you seriously. They talk over you, they forget your effort. They smile at you in public and step over you in private. You see it. You feel it. You carry it like a stone in your chest. You work hard. Still they ignore you. You stay loyal. Still they replace you. And tonight something inside you is tired of it. Not sad. Not emotional. Tired. Good. Because tonight you are going to see the game clearly. Not the game they pretend exists. The real one. The invisible board where power moves silently between people while everyone else pretends it is about kindness and fairness. Tonight is the last time you watch that game without understanding it. Now here is the part most people miss. Power is not taken by the loudest person. Power is not taken by the angriest person. Power is taken by the person who needs the least and endures the most. Remember that sentence. Needs the least, endures the most. That is the entire strategy, but most people cannot accept it, and that is why they stay weak. Look around your life. People are controlled by desire. They want comfort. They want approval. They want easy progress. And the moment someone controls what you want, they control you. It is simple. If your boss knows you desperately need the job, your boss owns your silence. If your partner knows you fear loneliness, they own your patience. If your friends know you crave approval, they own your behavior. They hold the strings. You move like a puppet. And you feel it, that quiet humiliation. Now here is the part that separates those who understand power from those who only wish they did. A ruthless mind cuts the strings, not with anger, with discipline. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote a sentence that most people read but very few understand. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. A power studies people. Power studies weakness. Power studies desire. But before you can study others, you must first command yourself. Command your mind. Command your reactions. Command your desires. Because if you cannot command yourself, someone else will. So the first rule is brutal but simple. Train your mind to want less. Less approval, less comfort, less emotional rescue from other people. Do you understand how dangerous that makes you? If you need nothing, nobody can bargain with you. If you want nothing, nobody can tempt you. If you fear nothing, nobody can control you. Let me show you what that looks like. There was a man in ancient Greece named Diogenes. He owned almost nothing. He slept in a barrel. He walked through the city with no interest in wealth or praise. People called him strange, but kings came to see him. One day the most powerful man in the world stood in front of him. Alexander the Great. Alexander had conquered nations. Armies followed him across continents. Entire cities bent the knee to him. He stood over Diogenes and said a sentence filled with pride. Ask me for anything. Imagine that moment. The most powerful man alive offering you anything you want. And Diogenes looked up at him and said one sentence. Step aside, you are blocking my sunlight. Think about that. No fear, no need, no desire. Alexander later said something that should stay in your mind forever. If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes. Why? Because power respects the person it cannot control. Now I want you to answer something honestly. Write it in the comments. Do you control your desires, or do they control you? Do not lie to impress strangers. Write the truth. Because truth is where power begins. But here is the real game changer. Wanting less is only half the weapon. Most people stop listening here. The ones who keep going are the ones history remembers. Wanting less removes your chains. Enduring more builds your strength. And that is where most people fail. Pain scares them. Discomfort breaks them. One insult, and they react. One failure, and they quit. One rejection and they collapse. But power sees pain differently. Pain is not punishment. Pain is fuel. Every insult is a knife. But knives can cut chains. Every betrayal is pressure, but pressure can create diamonds. Every rejection is friction, but friction creates fire. This is where the weak run away. This is where the disciplined begin their training. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire during one of its hardest periods. War surrounded him. Plague killed millions. Trusted people betrayed him. And yet, in his private journal, he wrote a sentence that has survived for 2,000 years. The obstacle on the path becomes the path. Think about that. Not avoid the obstacle. Not complain about the obstacle. Become stronger because of the obstacle. That is strategy. That is stoicism, not therapy. Strategy. Marcus Aurelius understood something most people never realize. Hardship is training. Comfort is decay. Comfort weakens the mind slowly, like rust eating iron. Hardship sharpens the mind, like a blade against stone. Now here is the part where the power dynamic flips. When people see that you endure what breaks them, they begin to watch you differently. They sense something colder, something controlled, something difficult to move. You stop looking ordinary. You start looking dangerous. But here is where many people misunderstand endurance. They think endurance means silent suffering while staying powerless. Wrong. Strategic endurance means absorbing pressure while preparing your move, like a predator in tall grass, still, quiet, watching, learning the rhythm of the prey, and then striking when the moment arrives. History is filled with people who mastered this. Consider Abraham Lincoln. Before he became President of the United States, he lost elections again and again. He failed in business. He experienced deep personal tragedy. He was mocked publicly. Many people thought his career was finished before it began. Most people would have stopped, but Lincoln turned every defeat into mental armor. Each failure hardened him. Each humiliation strengthened him. By the time he reached power, almost nothing could shake him. The storms had already trained him. Now I want you to think about your own life. There is a moment in your past where something hurt. A rejection, a betrayal, a humiliation. At the time it felt like damage. But look again. Did it make you sharper? Did it make you more careful? Did it make you stronger? Write it in the comments. What is one hardship that made you stronger? Do not skip this. Think. Because power grows from reflection. Here is a truth most people avoid. Comfort creates fragile minds. Hardship creates rulers. Look around the modern world. Soft chairs, soft schedules, soft expectations. People sit on thrones of comfort. But those thrones collapse the moment pressure arrives. Real power belongs to those who can sit on thrones of silence, watching, waiting, learning. Silence is a weapon. Most people cannot use it. They speak too quickly. They explain too much. They defend themselves constantly, and every word reveals weakness. Every reaction shows their pressure points. But silence hides power. Silence forces other people to reveal themselves. Now imagine this. Someone insults you in a meeting. Most people react instantly. They defend themselves. They argue. They raise their voice. But you remain calm. You say nothing. You watch. The room becomes uncomfortable. The attacker begins to doubt their move. Your silence becomes pressure. And slowly the control shifts. Now watch how this flips the entire game. Your patience confuses them. Your calm unsettles them. Your endurance exhausts them. The person who tried to control the moment begins to lose it. That is psychological dominance, not loud, not dramatic, cold, precise, effective. Now here is the next principle: controlled hardship, voluntary difficulty. You must choose difficulty before life forces it on you. Cold showers. Hard work when your mind begs for rest. Silence when your ego demands a response. Discipline when comfort whispers excuses. Each time you do this, you send a signal to your brain. I am in command. Not comfort, not fear, not other people. Me. This is how powerful minds are built, not overnight, brick by brick, pain by pain, victory by quiet victory. Most people want dramatic change, but real change is invisible. A stronger reaction here, a calmer decision there, a little more endurance today than yesterday. That is how steel is forged. Now I want to challenge you. Write this honestly in the comments. Are you building discipline or feeding comfort? One sentence, your truth. Because that difference decides your future. Now understand something deeper. People respect restraint more than aggression. Anyone can shout. Anyone can threaten. Anyone can show anger. That is not power. Power is calm control. Think of great leaders in moments of chaos. They slow down. They speak less. They watch more. Because they are reading the invisible game board. Every reaction, every fear, every weakness. And when they finally speak, the room listens. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The disciplined mind moves early. The emotional mind reacts late. That difference decides everything. So train yourself now. When others chase pleasure, train discipline. When others complain about hardship, build endurance. When others seek attention, master silence. And slowly something strange will begin to happen. People will start to feel your presence. They will not understand why, but they will notice it, your calm, your patience, your control. You will feel like the same person, but they will see someone different. Because the person who cannot be shaken cannot be ruled. Let that sentence sink in. But remember something important. The goal is not cruelty. The goal is control. Control over your thoughts. Control over your reactions. Control over your desires. Once you control those three things, the world loses its grip on you. That is real freedom, not comfort. Freedom. And here is the final lesson, the one most people never learn. Power grows in silence. You do not announce it. You do not brag about it. You build it quietly while others talk, like a blade sharpening in the dark. Day after day, choice after choice, discipline after discipline, until one day something changes. The moment arrives, and suddenly the person who was ignored becomes the person nobody can ignore. The quiet one becomes the decisive one. The underestimated one becomes the unstoppable one. Now here is your final question. Write it below. Are you the silent power? Or are you still a pawn on someone else's board? Choose carefully. Because the next step is a decision. If this video spoke to the version of you that is awake at 1 in the morning thinking something must change, then understand this. You are not alone. There are others learning this game, studying it, practicing it, winning it. And if you want to stand among them, do 3 simple things. Press like, subscribe, and write this sentence in the comments. I choose power over pity. Type it slowly. Mean it. Because this is not motivation. This is training. Remember this tomorrow. The world does not ignore the weak because it is cruel. The world ignores them because they have not yet learned power.